All right, so this is the ones that these are the questions that you should focus on for tomorrow's test. If at any point you want to try them again, just hit pause, do the question, then hit play and watch them do the video. These questions have multiple strategies. I'm just going to show you one per each. So Graham's monthly bank account statement showed the following deposits and withdrawals. They already give you the money in negatives and positives. You don't need to worry about those words, deposits and withdrawals, because it's already negative and positive. Graham's balance in the account was $47.86 at the beginning, so that's important. What was the account balance at the end of the month? So one way to do it is to take his starting amount, $47.86, and then just go through the problem left to right. Subtract 2520, then add 5275, then subtract 2204, subtract 850, then add 9411. That's one way of doing it. I saw some of you doing it in class, but that way it takes a long time because you have to do so many positive and negative addition rules. The other way to do it is to add up all the negative numbers, add up all the positive numbers, and then just add those two final numbers together. So I'm going to start with the negative. So I have a negative $25.20, a negative $22.04, and a negative $8.50. And I'm going to add them together. The reason I'm grouping all the negative numbers together is because now you add them normally and keep the sign. 4, 7, bring down the decimal point, 15, bring up the 1, $55.74, but it's negative. Now the positives, so there's a $52.75, $94.11, and you can't forget, he already had $47.86. Now, the $47.86, you can ignore it until the very end and then add it in, but you have to remember to add it at some point. I'm just going to do it here. So 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 6 is 12, carry the 1, 8, 9, 17, bring down a decimal, carry the 1, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 is 14, carry the 1, and then 6, 10, 19. So $194.72. Now, I need to add these two numbers together. It's a positive plus a negative, so I'm actually going to use subtraction, and then keep the sign of the larger one, which is the positive one. All right, these numbers are moving around the board again, so hold on. So borrow from the 7, make it a 6, make the 12, the 2 a 12, 12 minus 4 is 8, borrow from the 4, make it a 3, make that a 16, 16 minus 7 is 9, borrow from the 9, make it an 8, make it a 13, 13 minus 9 is 8, 8 minus 5 is 3, and bring down the 1, $138.98. Make sure you can do that one for tomorrow. The biggest mistake is forgetting about the $47.86 that he started with. The other biggest mistake is just messing up your positive and negative rules, which we are still messing up. I saw a number of you adding a positive and negative number together and just add them like they were normal numbers. So make sure you're thinking about your rules tomorrow. On the bottom, this is the going further question. Scientists determined that Antarctica's average winter temperature was negative $34.44, I'm sorry, it's not dollars, negative 34.44 degrees Celsius. The difference between this temperature and Antarctica's highest recorded temperature was 49.44 degrees. What was Antarctica's highest recorded temperature? So if you're looking for a number that's 49.44 degrees higher than negative 34.44, you need to do negative 34.44 plus 49.44. And I'm adding a negative and a positive, so I'm actually going to subtract them. And the numbers work out really nicely because 0, 0, 5, 1. And it's positive because this one's bigger, so 15. So the highest temperature was 15 degrees. And if you really think about this question, that's the only one that makes sense. If the coldest temperature is negative 34, and the highest temperature is 49 higher than that, it's obviously going to be a positive number, because 49 is bigger than 34, and it's not going to be 8388. That's way too big. So if you think about the answers and do they make sense, sometimes only one choice even makes sense. Number 3, or station number 3, 3/8 plus negative 4/5 plus negative 3/8 plus 5/4. So just two different strategies here that I was seeing today. One was to group the negative numbers and to group the positive numbers, and then just add those answers together. The other way I was seeing it was if you really thought ahead and took your time, 3/8 plus negative 3/8 is 0. So that cancels out, and you're going to have to deal with it. So now all you have left is negative 4/5 plus 5/4. Adding fractions, you need a common denominator. So in this case, it's 20. So negative 16 over 20 plus 25 over 20. Now, here's where you were messing up. If you're adding a positive and a negative, off to the side, you need to do just subtraction. 25 minus 16 is 9. And because 25 is bigger than negative 16, then your answer is going to be positive. So 9 over 20, which is choice C. See how easy that was when I originally crossed out the 3/8 and the negative 3/8 because they add up to 0? Now let me show you how to do it if you didn't cross them out, because a lot of you did it the long way. So let's group the positives. So first I'm going to do 3 over 8 plus 5 over 4. Let's find a common denominator. Common denominator of 8 and 4 is 8. So 3 over 8 plus 10 over 8 is 13 over 8. Great, that's the positives. Now the negatives. Negative 4 over 5 plus negative 3 over 8. Common denominator of 40, so negative 32 over 40 plus negative 15 over 40. Since they're both negative, you can add them, so negative 47 over 40. And now I need to add those two numbers together. So I need a common denominator of 40, so 65 over 40 plus negative 47 over 40. Positive plus a negative, off to the side, do subtraction. 65 minus 47 is 18, but because 65 is larger than negative 47, the answer is 18 over 40. We can divide both those numbers by 2, 9 over 20. Going further, at the bottom of the page is an order of operations question. All the answers are decimals, so I'm going to turn negative 7/10 into a decimal. Just read it, negative 7/10. If the denominator is a 10 or 100 or 1,000, it's really easy to write it as a decimal. 7/10, 0.7, but it's negative. So negative 0.7 plus 0.15, and then divided by negative 0.125. So negative 0.7 plus 0.15, that's a negative plus a positive. So off to the side, do the subtraction. 0.7 minus 0.15. So you can add a 0 there so it lines up. Borrow from that, make that a 6, make that a 10, that's 5. That's 5. And so 0.55, but negative 7 is bigger, so it's negative. So now it's negative 0.55 divided by negative 0.125. So negative divided by negative, I already know my answer is going to be positive. And I'm going to do the division off to the side. 0.55 divided by 0.125. Move the decimal 3 times. Move the decimal 3 times, so I'm going to have to add a 0. Now rewrite this, because you want your work to look neat. So 550 divided by 125. 125 goes into 550 4 times, which is 500 exactly. And when you subtract, that's 50. Add a decimal point, add a 0. Sorry, the pen keeps moving, which is getting annoying. Add a 0, bring it down, that's 500. And 125 goes into 500 exactly 4 times. I'll write my answer here. And since I already put that nice positive sign, I won't mistakenly pick B. The answer is C, 4.4. All right. We're going to skip this one. And we're going to move right here. So this is station 5. And it's the going further question at the bottom. Order of operations, you need to do the subtraction first. So negative 1/4 minus 2/4. You need to have a common denominator. I don't like this negative and minus. It looks messy, so I'm going to change it to change. Negative 1/4 plus negative 2/4. And since they're both negative, I can just add them normally and get negative 3/4. And then I need to do divided by negative 4/7. And I know my answer is going to be positive because negative divided by negative. Now off to the side, I'm going to do keep, change, flip. So negative 3/4 times negative 7/4. Nothing can cross cancel, so I get 21/16, which I can write as 1 5/16. And since I already wrote this nice positive sign over here, alright, it was moving around the board, so it went away, but I already wrote this nice positive sign over here, so I can just write my answer right there, 1 5/16. So I think it's a really good idea to write the positive and the negative sign right away. The answer is D, 1 5/16. Station 6, this one is definitely important. Few mistakes people were making. They weren't doing half price off the bowling games, or they were doing half price off everything. It's just off the bowling games. Gina rented shoes, so shoes are $275. She bowled 3 games, so I'm making notes as I read, and 1 order of nachos. So I circled the 1 shoe rental and the 1 nachos, and I put an arrow towards how much a bowling game is, and I wrote 3 games. What was her total cost? So I need to add all that up, so I need to figure out first what 3 games of bowling costs. So $250 times 3 equals $7.50, but she has a coupon for half off that. So there was a lot of different ways people were doing half. One way, remember that 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5. So you can do 7.50 times 0.5, and that comes out to 3.75. Or if you want to do half of something, you could just divide it by 2. That's the same thing. So 3.75. So the 3 bowling games are $3.75. So then you can add up $2.75 for the shoe rental, $3.75 for the 3 bowling games, or $1.75 for the nachos. Add them all together. And let's see, 15, 22, $8.25. Choice C. Another option was to do half of a bowling game first. So half of $2.50 is $1.25, and then multiply that by 3, and you still get $3.75. So it didn't change anything. Going further at the bottom, decimal equivalent of 7/8. You need to do 7 divided by 8. It's not 7.8, it's not 0.78. Don't get confused by that. So 8 doesn't go into 7, so put a 0 at a decimal point, add another 0. 8 goes into 70 8 times. That's 64. Subtract, you get 6, add a 0. Bring it down, 8 goes into 67 times. So that's 56. Subtract, it's a 4, add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 45 times, 0.875. Choice C. This one, I don't know if it was in your stations, but it's definitely in your packet. So if you didn't get to it, do this one for practice. So hit pause, try it, and then hit unpause, and let's look at the answer. So it's negative 1/4 times negative 3/7. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to put a positive sign right away. And you just multiply straight across for fractions. So 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 7 is 28. That can't be simplified. So positive 3/28. Choice C. Let's see what else. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Yesterday, the temperature at noon was 11.4. By midnight, the temperature had decreased by 15.7. So if it was only at 11 and it decreased 15.7, we're going into the negatives. What was the temperature? So I need to do 11.4 minus 15.7. Notice how I wrote it vertically across, because if you write it horizontally, I wrote it horizontally. If you write it vertically, you guys try to actually subtract this, and like the answer you usually give me doesn't make sense, and you give me that. It just doesn't make sense. Don't do that. Write it horizontally. When it's a smaller number minus a bigger number, do keep, change. So it's 11.4 plus negative 15.7. So now that tells me that my answer is going to be negative because 15.7 is bigger. And off to the side, I'm going to do the subtraction. And I'm going to get 4.3. So negative 4.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Altitude above sea level is given in positive values and below is given in negatives. Which situation describes a hiker in depth value stopping at altitude 0? So starts at negative 10 and then increases by 10, that's 0. If you're at negative 10, if you're down here at negative 10, and you go up 10, you're going to end up right here at 0. And let's see, I think we have one more. Yes, so this is that station 8 question. So this might not be in your packet, but I believe Ms. Minardi gave one to everyone. So scientists use a submarine to study ocean life. She begins at sea level. I like to write a little picture. It doesn't have to be great. So there's sea level. Looks like water. And here's my submarine. That's the periscope and some windows on the submarine. You want to make it look good. And then she travels straight down for 90 seconds at a speed of 3.5 feet per second. So how far did she go down? Well, you have to do multiplication. 90 times 3.5. So 0 times 5 is 0, 9 times 5 is 45, add a 0. 0 times 3 is 0, 9 times 3 is 27, add those together. Notice how my numbers line up really well. And 1 decimal spot, so 315 feet. So she went down 315 feet. So here. Then she travels up for 30 seconds at a speed of 2.2 feet per second. So again, how far did she go up? Let's multiply. 30 times 2.2. 0 times 2 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Add a 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Add those together. 660, but 1 decimal spot. So she went up 66 feet. So obviously she didn't make it to the surface. So she's somewhere around here now. And how much does she have left to go? 315 minus 66 is 249 feet remaining to the surface. And if she travels at her maximum speed of 4.8 feet per second, how long will it take? So you need to do 249 divided by 4.8. So move the decimal ones over at 0, so 2,490 divided by 48. I believe 48 goes into 259 5 times. 48 times 5 off to the side is 240. Subtract those, you get 9. 0, 48 goes into 91 time. 48. That's 42. Add a 0, add a decimal point. 420. 48 goes into 420. 8 times. Off to the side, 48 times 8. You gotta do some guess and check on it. I'm just playing with numbers a little bit. 8 times 8 is 64. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 6 is 384. Subtract those. And you get 36. Add another 0. 360. I have to go to one more number. It said round to the nearest tenth, which is this spot. But you need to know what the next number is in order to round to the nearest tenth. It's going to be a 7, because 48 goes into 367 times. So that 7 tells that 8 to go up to a 9. So it's 51.9 seconds. So do this question, watch my work, just keep doing it over and over until you get it. And I believe that's it. Email us if you have any questions. If we are around, we'll answer them. Otherwise, just keep watching this video, look through your notes, look through your packet. You've seen almost every single question on this test, so there's no excuses. Good luck.